Today, we're sharing one of our most fascinating experiences from our New England road trip this fall. We had no idea Plymouth, Massachusetts is famous for cranberry growing and that we are here right during the harvest season until we were tipped off by a local.
It's harvesting time.
Cranberries have been cultivated for more than 200 years throughout southeastern Massachusetts, and Plymouth County is home to some of the top growers in the country.
Cranberries are grown in bogs, and when it's time to harvest them, they flood them with water, and the cranberries float to the top. And hopefully, if we drive around there, we'll see them harvesting, because it's pretty cool when they're harvesting. So, fingers crossed.
We thought we'd missed out on the experience until we happened to drive by a farm that was in the middle of the harvest.
This is very fun.
Gave us some inside information that they're going to be harvesting those tomorrow morning. And he welcomed us to come back out and park closer, check it out.
The owner of Southers Marsh Cranberry Farm invited us to come back for the harvest, and we were so excited. Join us today as we experience a close-up look at this fascinating 200-year-old tradition.
Yesterday, after our boat tour, we headed to Panera for a marathon work night, and then we basically just headed back to the same park and ride spot for overnight, and we got there and crashed.
It was our third night in a row there. It's okay. It's close to the road, so the second night especially, we were like right up against the road, so traffic noise kind of kept us up.
Actually shook our van a little bit too when some of the cars went by.
So I will never complain about a free overnight spot, but I haven't been getting the best night's sleep. But it's all right.
So last night we actually parked in a different spot away from the road. I think the first night was better, but it's kind of amazing that they've got that spot.
In a quarter mile, slide left to stay on Upper College Pond Road.
They've got that spot, and you can park for as many as 21 days or something. I don't know who even enforces that, but it's kind of interesting. So then this morning we went to Walmart, got some food, did some other things. We got some groceries also at Aldi, our favorite grocery store. Headed to Panera again, and now we are out exploring. And it looks like a pretty area. Our new friend Ken that we met on the boat tour yesterday actually recommended something that was not even in our minds at all. This is Cranberry Town, I guess. This whole area, there's a lot of cranberry farms, and it's harvesting time. So he recommended a place to go where there's several farms, and hopefully if we drive around there, we'll see them harvesting, because it's pretty cool when they're harvesting. So fingers crossed that we'll find something. If you're not familiar with how they harvest cranberries, cranberries are grown in bogs, and when it's time to harvest them, they flood them with water, and the cranberries float to the top. So Ken told us that we'll probably see big trucks out on the road if they're harvesting. There's no way for us really to know when they're harvesting, so we're just hoping to find a farm that's actually doing that. And then it should be really cool because all the cranberries floating on the top make it all red and pretty. I think over here to the left is a cranberry bog. They're all marked with flags, and there's some trucks further away. But obviously that's not being flooded, but a truck just went by us, and that might have been a cranberry truck. Interesting to see what we can find. There's some flooding, but maybe it's already harvested, because there's no berries floating around. So we just pulled over. This has got to be another example of another cranberry bog, but not flooded. Kind of wild to see all this, though. Something new to learn about. There's some over that side. We actually passed a road called Ocean Spray, so we might go down that road. Oh, look, they're filled with cranberries. So here's Ocean Spray. So that's pretty cool. We found where the trucks are coming in, delivering them to Ocean Spray. It's around 3:20 in the afternoon, so I'm starting to wonder if we've already missed the harvesting for the day and that all the trucks are out delivering the cranberries, but we'll see. Maybe we'll still find some floating around that haven't been harvested yet. All these trucks are coming in now. So we're driving by a lot of bogs, but we're striking out on seeing them actually being harvested. lots and lots of bogs out here. And Steve was just saying that it seems like some of them are smaller than he would have expected. We've also seen some horse farms or places that have horses. It's really pretty out here. So I learned some things, and look, I come bearing gifts.
What you got there?
I have some fresh cranberries. So there's this little market stand, and I went in just to ask. We noticed some people here. It looked like they were on a tour, so I just asked what's going on and told her we were trying to see the cranberries being harvested and asking her some questions. Unfortunately, she thinks we might have missed all the ones in this immediate area. She said here they harvested Monday through Thursday, and that they usually do it earlier in the day. But I did find out some things. Maybe if we go further away, we might find it happening. Again, she gave us the cranberries, which was very nice. I brought one. I had one first before I got the rest for you to try, Steve. So I want you to try it and see what you think.
Can't say that I've ever had a cranberry before.
You've had cranberries, but not fresh.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty tart, huh?
Yeah. They say cranberries are good for your pee-pee, right?
So I tried one in there when I was with her, and I would say, tell me if I'm wrong, they seem like a grape, a little bit harder than a grape, just in case you've never had cranberries either. A little bit like a grape, but then super tart. So I was asking her, like, what do you do with a fresh cranberry? And she said that they're really good in chicken salad. And we've done chicken salad with grapes, so maybe that'd be good. Maybe in a salad, or maybe we could experiment with cooking them down a little bit. So that was really nice of her to give them to us. So even though we missed the harvesting, it's been neat coming out here and just learning a little bit about all this, because it's all new to us. And kind of always nice to support local farms. As I was there at the little stand, she was talking about they'd make honey there. And then they also have some local products from some family members, some syrup from Maine and jam and other things. So very cool place to stop.
Pretty cool. Another example of what makes van life kind of special is, like Audrey said earlier, we had no idea that this even existed in this area, and had it not been for that chance meeting of Ken and his recommendations, we wouldn't have known. So even though we may have missed the action, it's still kind of cool to look around and you can visualize it in your mind's eye, like what's going on. And we've got to see a bunch of big trucks rolling through loaded up with cranberries. So kind of cool. Something to explore more in the future for sure.
We just pulled into the last farm that was on my list, and there might be some berries out still, and there's actually a truck that's loaded up right here with berries. Let's see. Oh, I think there are some berries, but they're far away. Yeah, so it looks like they have actually rounded up the berries. They bring them all in into like a circle. I took some pictures with my camera here, but kind of far away, so maybe we can get a little bit closer though. It's hard to know where we're supposed to be here and where we're not allowed to be, but there's no signs. Figure we try and apologize later if they say something. All right, so we're gonna trying to get a better look at the berries that I actually saw floating. You can tell over this way that was flooded, but over here it looks like over this way, it actually looks like they're gathering them. So I'm glad I noticed that through the trees. They definitely are harvesting the berries here. They've pulled them into that round area. It's a little disappointing we didn't get to see them floating just all out, like covering the water, but I'm glad we got to see this.
This is still pretty cool.
So there we go. I didn't think we'd see even this, so that was a nice little treat.
Yep.
We're still trying to figure out how to tell where they are in the process of things. Like back over here, doesn't it look really red still?
It's hard to say. It does appear to have a reddish tone to it, so I don't know if they have been harvested yet or not.
Yeah, we can't figure out what's been harvested, what hasn't. So we're trying to figure out if it would be worth it to try to come back to see more harvesting. But anyway, this has been fun. So you see what's in there? We got a little more brave and we drove closer to get a better look. And the funny thing is, I got out to get some video and the heron actually did you see it? The heron flew into the cranberries.
Really?
Yeah, and then flew out, which is kind of fun. But anyway, at least we got a close-up look at some cranberries.
Pretty cool.
We feel a little bit like we're trespassing. But, and everything we read about this said typically as long as you don't go in and do any damage in the bogs, the farmers don't usually care that you are getting a close-up look.
So I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. A lot of farms, dairy farms in particular. So a lot of cows. So we would always joke, us natives, that people would stop and take pictures of the cows and stuff. But I'm sure this is no different for these folks who tourists come in and take pictures of their cranberries. At times they're probably like, huh? But we're fascinated by it.
All right, guess what? We were driving and we just saw another bog that actually has the cranberries floating. So it's right up here. Right over here. Can you pull off? You think we can just drive down there? So this is very fun. I'm a little surprised though. I thought the berries would be more red. It looks more pink. So it looks like everybody's taking a break. Oh, this is cool. Okay. That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Just kind of a chance encounter with, I don't know, employee, owner of the land here, and gave us some inside information that they're going to be harvesting those tomorrow morning. And he welcomed us to come back out and park closer and check it out.
That was fun. So that was very cool. So the bog was just right back there. I almost missed it when we went by. I'm glad that we noticed that.
See, kids, it pays to trespass.
We're going to see a cranberry harvest today, you guys. Are you excited? We are. Time to get moving.
Tell you what, if we ever run out of food, there's some good meat on this cat.
Aww.
And this little chunker.
Do you hear that, Gray Gray? Alright, we gotta get going, kitty. We've got important things to do. Things to see. So we're almost there. We're not gonna lie. We're a little nervous about parking. We parked just right off the street yesterday. but the guy told us we could pull down into the little side road, but it's pretty sandy. So we gotta figure out what to do. Like, we could always pull right here, but then we're gonna be further away.
Let's do that. What I don't want is to get stuck and then have to get their help to get unstuck.
You think we would if we just...
It's just not worth it. It's not worth. When there's just a spot right there.
Right,
we can
just walk
to.
over, right? Not quite as convenient, but...
Since they were nice enough to invite us over, let's not make their Saturday morning that much more difficult.
Yeah, we're a little bit different in a rear-wheel drive van than a four-wheel pickup truck that they have, probably. Yeah, I bet it would have been fine if we just parked in the part where there's the grass, but
we can here, out of the way.
well, we got parked. We're gonna go check things out. Looks like they're already starting to maybe try to blow some of the cranberries. Looks like they almost have like something like a power washer or something. That's what it looks like. The very nice man that stopped to talk to us yesterday explained that they do all this using a well. So here's the first field that they harvested. They filled that with water, and then they pumped the water from this field until the one they're harvesting now. So it takes a little bit of time to do that. I think that's why they started filling it yesterday, and then they come and harvest this morning. So if you look here, you'll actually see the water being pumped in still, and they're starting to work further over here. It actually looks like they're just using leaf blowers to blow the cranberries on top of the water towards where they're going to collect them. And then there's somebody else out there, it looks like raking some of them. There's all these frogs. It's a frog in the bog. There's lots of frogs in the bog.
You all better make sure you remember this effort the next time you enjoy a little bit of cranberry juice.
The cranberry harvest takes place once a year in Massachusetts from mid-September through early November. Cranberries are harvested using one of two methods, dry harvesting or wet harvesting. The method used depends on the intended use of the cranberries. Cranberries that will be consumed fresh are dry harvested. Wet harvesting is the most common method used today and is an intriguing process to witness. More than 90% of cranberry crops are wet harvested. Wet harvested cranberries are used for juices, sauces, sweetened dried cranberries, ingredients in other processed foods, or in nutraceutical products. For wet harvesting, the cranberry bog is flooded with up to 18 inches of water the night before the berries are to be harvested. The growers then use unique harvesting machines, nicknamed egg beaters, to churn the water and loosen the cranberries from the vine. Cranberries have pockets of air inside the fruit. Because of this, cranberries float in the water, and thus the bogs can be flooded to aid in the removal of fruit from the vines. We learned that the growers pick in the same direction every year because the vines actually get trained. Once the berries float to the surface, creating this beautiful, colorful sight, wooden or plastic booms are used to round up the berries.
So it appears they are tightening up the circle. These guys here on the left on your screen are trying to rake in, I guess, the cranberries in tighter. So the guys there in the back can tighten up the circle. So what's kind of funny to me is there's quite a few golf balls over here. And methinks, if you're shanking your ball that far off course, you probably shouldn't be playing golf.
Yay, and here's some sun.
This cranberry farm, Southers Marsh, has been producing cranberries for more than 100 years. The berry plants were originally planted here in 1900 with a horse and a plow. His farm is unique in that it also doubles as a golf course, a very innovative development, particularly when the price of cranberries dropped during the 1990s. Southers Marsh is a member of the Ocean Spray Cooperative. Ocean Spray is the world's largest producer of cranberry products and is responsible for 70% of the North American cranberry production. Founded in 1930 by 3 cranberry growers, Ocean Spray is headquartered here in Plymouth County and has over 700 family farmers in its cooperative. The average farm in the co-op is 18 acres, and 25% of the members are fourth-generation farmers. This is all pretty fascinating, and these guys are also friendly, and they've been answering our questions, which has been really cool. They were talking about the different stages. We mentioned before that the field first behind us was already harvested, and then they're doing this one. Now the field here. So it's kind of neat to actually see the plants and see the berries on the plants. Once the cranberries are corralled, they are lifted by conveyor or pumped into a truck. Cranberries are separated from their leaves, twigs, or other debris by a water pressure cleaning system and immediately sorted. The berries go into a trailer, and the debris is diverted, often used for composting later. These berries will be delivered to an ocean spray receiving station, where they will go into cleaning pools and will go through machinery where smaller berries, soft fruit, and any remaining debris will be removed. They will also be tested to analyze fruit quality and determine market usability based on sugar content, color, moisture, firmness, and other qualities. Typically, Southers Marsh produces 600,000 to 800,000 pounds of cranberries each season. What an incredible experience this was. We are so appreciative of Willie and his crew and how welcoming and willing they were to share and answer questions we had about this whole process. This was definitely one of our favorite experiences during our time in New England. Well, that was a pretty fantastic experience.
Yes, it was.
From yesterday, when we thought we had missed all the harvesting and how disappointing that was, to today, having this opportunity, I don't think we could ask for a better opportunity with what a great group of people, and they were so welcoming, and they let us get up close to experience everything. That was amazing.
Yeah, huge thank you to Willie from Southers Marsh. Again, like Audrey said, super cool. He and his staff, so welcoming, invited us up on their equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool. What a turn of events from thinking, oh no, we're late to the party, to next morning, seeing what we saw. That was, what a treat. Thank you.
Yeah, so we enjoyed that so much. We enjoyed talking with them. They were asking us if we had any questions. Really getting up on the, I don't know what the equipment's called, but getting up there and being able to see the berries being sucked up and going into the truck.
We were chatting with them a little bit, and maybe we can fill in the blanks later in post-production, but that area that they were working on, which I think is called a bog, right? I think is roughly 3 acres.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were going to get about 2 18-wheeler truckload full.
Maybe a little bit more. They're not sure until they do it because they don't know how deep the berries are. So there's some different factors that come into play. But
So, and then apparently it gets measured, like they go straight to Ocean Spray, which is but a few miles from here.
And they are part of the Ocean Spray Co-op, right?
Yep. And then the trucks get weighed, so that determines their yield per acre. So,
And you said it's by the barrel? They
yeah,
calculate by the barrel?
I guess the measurement is a barrel somehow. Again, we can maybe fill in the blanks here once we have a chance to research this more. But all in all, fascinating, from how it's grown to harvested to the whole thing. And I guess because it was grown in water, or no, not grown in water, but harvested in water, that automatically gets turned into the juice versus dry harvesting,
Right.
which I guess is just regular berries.
Right. So the dry harvest is what you get for the fresh berries. The wet harvest, I guess something changes a little bit in that process. So that's what's used for the concentrate that you will get for juice and the, I guess, frozen things, whatever.
Yeah.
So what a neat opportunity. And I know Steve says this all the time, but it's one of the things we love about van life.
Yeah.
The fact that we were able to just be flexible. We don't usually stay in an area this long, but to be able to stay here and experience that. And we also got to talking with one of the guys that was there helping, and he does oyster farming. So right now is not the, I guess, best time to go and see that process, but we'd love to do that in the future. So I love that we meet such interesting people and we get to learn all this, in different regions. So we're just really thankful for the opportunity today.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Thanks again.
Well, this is where we're going to leave you for this episode. A quick thank you to all our patrons. If you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron yourself by using the link on the screen that we've also included in the video description, along with other information about this episode. Thanks in advance, and we'll catch you on the next one. You can connect with us and see my photos of all the locations we visit on our Facebook and Instagram.